Hi, my name is Mandy and I co-own A Storage. We are a storage company and we also have business services, a range of business services that include post boxes, meeting room for hire and offices. We offer a professional frontage to any business that wants to work cost effectively and efficiently. So our business is a bit more complex than you might first think. We require from our staff both psychological and empathic skills as well as the academic processing skills. And that's quite rare to find. So what we do find with apprentices, we can mould them to the client need and the business need, not necessarily easy to find out in the general public, as well as providing people their sort of start into professional life. And that's quite rewarding as owners of the business to watch them grow and then leave us with some really good skills. So my advice to you on applying is to be serious about it and show it. So you'll have a range of employers put in front of you. Don't just pick any employer or do a scattergun approach. This is your opportunity. It's not just about the employer employing you, it's about you going into a company that you're really interested in and a company that can give you what your requirements are, whatever they may be. So researching that company, maybe having an initial chat with them to start off with, really look at their work ethic, who they are, what their reputation is, and whether you're interested in their products before you decide to apply. From that point, you need to, if you can, give examples of your ability. So if you're digital marketing, there could be images or any other evidence that you can give of your skills and interests. Make sure you have a really good cover letter and not just one that's used for everybody, because that really shows. And proofread all your communications, whether it's email or cover letter with that company, including your CV, really important. Give it out to other people to look at and proofread for you as well. And from that point, answer your phone professionally, because the first thing that I will do is phone you to see who you are and what you're interested in. So if you pick up the phone and you are grumpy with me on the phone or not interested, you're not going to get an interview. I think I've said it just a minute ago, but research, and only really go for the companies that you are interested in. Don't do the scattergun approach. So the most important thing for me is attitude. Somebody with a really good work ethic, get yourself in every day and you're on time every day. Willingness to change and improve and to face failure to start off with. You will learn by your mistakes. You can't keep making mistakes, but you need to be able to take that on the chin a little bit. You need to be ambitious and hungry and strive to master your topics, and someone that will develop themselves in their own time. Not enough to go to college or what you have at work. You need to be able to really morph and drill down into that in your own time. So my tips for your interview process is to be 5 minutes early, not too early because otherwise people sort of fall over you in reception, can be a bit awkward, but definitely don't be late. If there's any chance you're going to be late, then phone, communicate, reschedule if you have to. Research the company again, research. The first question I will ask you is, what do you know about my company? If you can't tell me, if you haven't been onto my website and you've bothered to have a look, I will literally stop the interview and that'll be the end of it. So it's really important. The objective is to have somebody in here who's interested in my company and that wants to grow with us. So not to have that interest, it won't get you to the next phase. And have questions. So there is a standard answer that people give, which is, I think you've answered all the questions that I had, which means I don't have questions as far as I'm concerned. So make sure that you've got a lot of questions and you can go into that kit bag and pull one out, because it just shows that extra interest in an interview. And finally, be smart. If you have to borrow clothes, then borrow the clothes, but be as smart as you can. Even if you're going into a building site, wear a suit, or as near to it as you can possibly get, because you're showing that professionalism in that interview. If your day-to-day workwear is going to be overalls or jeans and t-shirt, doesn't matter. The fact that you've turned up smart, or as smart as you can be, really does set you apart. So what can you expect if you do make it through with A Storage? Well, with us personally, you would be worked very, very hard. There's a lot to do, and we expect everybody to have a really good work ethic. As well as that, we as a company, personally, we invest in the individual, not just professionally in the topic that they're taking, but also in them as an individual. And we would morph and change and train them and invest in bringing those skills up. So what do I mean by that? Well, it could be your confidence, for example. It could be your tonality. It could be your posture. We don't just look at what you're doing at college, we look at you holistically and morph you then from maybe the school person that you were into the consummate professional. We do try and retain our staff, but if you're not going to stay with us, then we need to know that at the 12-month process or 18-month process, whatever your apprenticeship is, you've walked out of the door the best you can possibly be, ready for that new business. And the other thing that you can expect is to face failure regularly initially, because in the beginning the process is literally you fail, you learn, and then you grow. And that's quite daunting for some people and difficult to take at times. So a bit of robustness is something that is really needed. And finally, really to do some work in your own time. It's not good enough to be in the company or at your college course. You also need to drill down into your subject and really master your topic and be the best that you possibly can be. So the future prospects that we might offer as a business to an apprentice who's completed their course. Well, we've had in the past apprentices, quite a few, and some of them have moved on, but most of them stay. And that's our aim, really. So you would do your course with us, and then we look to retain you. We've invested a lot of time, energy and money into you. So if you can then get the experience with us for the next few years and start your career with us, and that's our preferred outcome. Those jobs can be anything. It doesn't have to be in the topic that you're in. So for example, we have Tom, who is our facilities manager now, but he came in as an admin apprentice with us initially, and he's just developed through the business and gone up and up and up, and he's now our facilities manager. So sky's the limit really with us. Wherever you want to go, we will help you get there. One final point, which is sort of from my perspective, it wasn't on the crib sheet that I've been asked to do today, but I think it's really valuable for me to say this as an employer. You may well be having to choose between university and apprenticeships, and you may be questioning your choice whether one is over the other. As an employer, personally, I would advise you to really consider the apprenticeship side of things. And the reason for that is this. When you do an apprenticeship, you are in the business, you are in a professional environment from day one. So you learn all sorts of different skills that you don't get at university. There's some stigma, isn't there, and there's some conversations about apprenticeship versus university students, and I would discard those. As an employer, I don't look any differently from one to the other. In actual fact, if I'm honest with you, because we take apprentices, if I've got somebody coming in, not through the apprenticeship route, but just as a normal general employee, and they've been an apprentice, I kind of expect them then to have a certain level of professionalism that I wouldn't necessarily expect from a university student. So just want to say I think you're doing the right thing considering an apprenticeship, and I would take that every day over a university placement. Good luck.